Hello everyone, and welcome to our webinar on Erasmus+. My name is Angelica Perra, and I'm here to accompany you to understand a little bit deeper what the Erasmus program is. As you may know, this program was created by the European Union for the fields of education, training, youth, and sport. The idea under the program is the one of supporting the Europe 2020 strategy for growth, job, social inclusion and equality. The program is very well explained in details in a user guide that is made of over 300 pages. So our idea as network, as the Year 2000 International Network, was to make an explanation a little bit less complicated than the user guide, and we created a PowerPoint presentation for our members. We'd like to share with you this presentation in order to facilitate your acknowledgement about the program. As you may know, the program is following some previous programs that were running in the past 7 years. And it is including a number of these programs all together in order to reach the objective that I was saying before, and that I will also mention later when we are going to talk about the program in details. These programs were the Youth in Action program for the youth field, and then for the adult part, all the programs that were included in the lifelong learning program, like Leonardo da Vinci, Grundtvig, Erasmus Mundus, and these kind of programs. Plus, the new Erasmus includes a new action that is regarding the sport, which was never included in the youth program that was before. So let's see this presentation, and let's go into some more details. 1 second, that I have to upload. Okay, here we are. So we were saying that the Erasmus program is running already from the year 2014, and it will be so until 2020, the year 2020. Let's follow the slides one by one, and let's talk about the structure of the program. As a general introduction, we need to say that the program is divided in 2 sections because it deals with the youth sector and with the adult sector, education and training sector for adults. Okay, so the main elements of the Erasmus program are not very different from those that were under the previous programs from the year 2007-2014. And let's see which are we have the recognition and validation of skills and competencies. As you may know, nowadays the situation, the economic situation, and especially the fact that we have a very high level of youth unemployment or unemployment in general, makes it very important to add qualifications and skills and competencies to people that want to enter the labor market. So one of the aims, or one of the main elements of this new program is to foster the recognition and validation of skills and competencies that are based on non-formal education in order to allow people to complete their preparation and facilitate the entry in the labor market. Dissemination and exploitation of results is also one of the most important elements of the new program. Why? If we do an action and then we're not able to transfer it to others. We're not able to make of the action of the program that we have realized something that could be reused and multiplied by others. Our action, our project will be almost useless, will affect only the area or the community that are involved in our project. Indeed, we need to be able to disseminate and exploit the results of our project to make it wider. The international dimension, being a program that is made by the European Union, of course, one of the most important elements is the fact that your project should have an international dimension, should involve international partners, and should have an international impact. Multilingualism as well nowadays is more and more important because of the open markets and because of the fact that people are going to work and live in different countries from the one of their origin. Therefore, it's more and more important that our people will be able also to express themselves in different languages than their mother tongue. Again, to sustain the Europe 2020 strategy for growth. Equity and inclusion as well as part of the strategy to allow our communities to develop and grow in terms also in social and in economic terms. And one of the elements that is listed here is also the protection and safety of participants. We want to be sure, and the Commission wants to be sure, that we organize our projects in a safe environment for the participants that are taking place. So, Erasmus Plus is divided in 3 main actions. And these 3 actions are, as you can see, Key Action 1, Key Action 2, and the Key Action 3. Then there are also other, as I was saying, other actions that are not named in the name of 1, 2, 3, but one is related to sport, and then we have the general activities. Let's go back to the first action and let's see what they are. So, the Key Action 1 is called the mobility of individuals, and basically it includes all the previous programs that were dealing with mobilities of young people or mobilities of learner and staff. All that you could find in Leonardo da Vinci mobility, for example, or in Grundtvig, and then in the Youth in Action program. As you see, it's divided in some sub-actions. We have the mobility of learners and staff, Erasmus Mundus joint master degrees, Erasmus Plus master degree loans. The first one, mobility of learners and staff, is basically, if we talk about all the Youth in Action, here we can include all the activities like training courses, EVS, European Voluntary Service, youth exchanges, mobilities of youth workers, job shadowing. All the previous Youth in Action program is included in this first action, mobility of individuals. And also, as I was mentioning before, the others from Leonardo da Vinci and Grundtvig. Then we have the Erasmus Mundus joint master degrees that basically it's try to promote a high-level integrated international study program that is delivered by an international partnership. And this partnership is made of higher education institutes that come from different countries. So basically, if you have finished your higher education and you're going to the master, you could have, instead of a normal master degree or master course, you could follow a set of integrated courses on a topic or on different topics in order to have a better preparation for your master. Then the Erasmus Plus Master Degree Loans allows people that have finished their high studies and they are entering in master to get some loans to continue studying. I want to remind one more time that all this information and the details on the action can be found in the user guide and also on the website of the European Commission and of your national agencies. After the key action 1, mobility of individuals, we have the key action 2, which is made in order to create cooperation between different stakeholders, different partners. Indeed, it's called Cooperation for Innovation and Exchange of Good Practices. The idea that is under these 3 actions, 1, 2, and 3, is to have a kind of continuum. So in the first one, you move individuals, you move people from one country to another one, and you give them the opportunity to learn about something, to improve their learning, their knowledge, their competencies. With the second action, what are you going to do? With the second action, you're going to instead create a long-lasting partnership to innovate in the field that you have been experiencing in the previous action, for example. And you create, to innovate or to create stable partnership that could lead you to better projects for the future, that will put together different stakeholders, for example. And here we have other sub-actions that are strategic partnership, knowledge alliances, sector skill alliances, and capacity building. The strategic partnership, basically you decide together with your partners to create a partnership that will increase the knowledge or make better actions to sustain one topic, for example, European Voluntary Service. Knowledge Alliance, instead, it's a cooperation between higher education and the business sector, and it's made in order to bring innovation in education and business and to develop entrepreneurship mindset and skills. The sector skills alliances, instead, it's made to fill the gap that there are in competencies regarding certain skills. So here you create a partnership between actors that are working on a sector to complete specific labor market needs with competencies. The last one is the capacity building action, and in this case we are creating kind of different cooperation between partners in order to build capacity for some specific targets. Let's see the action 3. So we said that the first was to move people from one country to another one and to get them knowledge on certain skills, on certain topics. And the second one was to reinforce partnership and to reinforce the knowledge on certain sectors and topics by creating stable partnerships. And the third one, instead, it's to support policy reforms. How? The first, let's say that the first doesn't put together very much different sectors of the society, like the public sector, the business sector, and the first sector. In the second action, instead, we are starting to build a partnership between the different sectors of the society. And as you said, as you saw, we can have a partnership between the business sector and the educational institutions, for example, or between the public sector and the third sector. The third action tries to put together all these things and to influence our policymakers by letting them create reforms according to their researches, their acknowledgements, and all the other things that we may have discovered by working in the Action 1 and in the Key Action 2 previously. And here we have, again, different sub-actions like knowledge in the field of education training in youth, initiative for policy innovation, support for European policy tools, cooperation with international organizations, and then stakeholder dialogue, policy and program promotion. Let's say immediately that all these three key actions can be applied at different levels. There are some of the sub-actions that can be applied only at national level by referring to your own national agencies, and others that instead can be applied directly to the executive agency in Brussels. We will see in a moment which is the difference between these two entities. But first, let's continue and see that there is this new action that is included in the program, and it's the one about sport. Why we have considered this time also the sport action in the program. It's one of the objectives of the European Union to try and promote a healthy lifestyle and to include sport in other programs. So sport is not something that is separated by the rest of topics that affect the life of people. And also there are some values that we want to include also in other fields that are not strictly related to sport. And here we have also other sub-actions like collaborative partnership, not-for-profit European sport events, strengthening of the evidence-based for policy making, dialogue with relevant European stakeholders. Let's say that also in the sport action, you basically can do the same activities that you can do in the three previous actions. Just you have all in one here, and they have to be more focusing on sports. Then we have the Germonet activity. Maybe many of you already know something about the Germonet program. It is a very old program that was created to promote excellence in teaching and research in Europe and in the rest of the world. And it has had always very good success. That's why they have decided to include also this Germonet program inside Erasmus Plus as part of the tools that could be used to support the Europe 2020 strategy. And here we have a list of actions. Again, we have the Germonet modules and the chairs and Center of Excellence that refer to teaching and research, meaning that could take part to these actions teachers and also researchers. And then we have the Germonet support of two institutions and associations. This is more related to education institutions and the associations that are dealing with education rather than with people. And then we have the networks and the projects that instead refer and try to make a link between policy debate and the academic world. Okay, let's see now which are the specific objectives of our Erasmus Plus program. Again, you will see that these objectives are very much related to the strategy, the Europe 2020 strategy, and to the things that I was mentioning while I was just giving you a brief explanation of the actions. So one of the objectives is to improve the level of key competencies and skills of young people to promote participation in democratic life in Europe and facilitate the access to the labor market, to facilitate also active citizenship, to facilitate intercultural dialogue, to promote and facilitate social inclusion and solidarity. How? All this should be made by increasing learning mobility opportunity for people and strengthening the links between the youth field and the labor market. If you analyze this sentence, you will find that this objective is reached, especially with the key action 1, the first part, key competencies and skills, and with the C, to promote and facilitate active citizenship, intercultural dialogue, also with the key action 3. And the last part, strengthening the links between the youth field and the labor market, you see that we have also key action 2 here with the knowledge alliances. Another specific objective is this one that says that we need to foster the quality improvement in the youth work, in particular to enhance cooperation between organizations in the youth field and or other stakeholders. What does it mean? The analysis of the old Youth in Action program, or the old program that was related to youth, put an evidence on the fact that the quality of the youth work was decreasing during the years. So what the new program would like to do is to try and improve the quality in youth work by increasing the cooperation between the organization and also establishing links and better cooperation between the youth field and other sectors and other stakeholders. These objectives to complement policy reforms at local, regional, national, and to support the development of knowledge is referring very much to the key action 3 and to the key action 2, as you can see. Better use of youth transparency recognition tools and the dissemination of good practices. Also, we have another project to enhance the international dimension of youth activities and the role of youth workers organization as support structure for young people in complementarity with the European Union external action, in particular the promotion of mobility and cooperation. This objective is reached through all the actions that we saw before. Now, of course, to organize all these activities, we need a budget. We choose the budget for the new program, for the Erasmus program, for these 7 years, from 2014 to 2020. We have 14,734 billion euros, you can see. And it could seem that it's a very huge budget. Actually, it is a huge budget, but then you have to think that you have to spread it among 7 years and that you have to spread it between the youth sector and the adult sector. And if you're an organization that is involved in the youth field, you may notice immediately that only the 10% of the budget of this program will be allocated for the youth field. Who is paying? How is working all this budgeting, and how it is divided among the applicants? So here you can see that basically everything, we can give a double interpretation to this picture. Who's paying is the European Commission. How the European Commission pays? It pays to the member states. To be able to participate as a country, as a state, to this program, you need to have specific agreements with the European Union. You need to be member of the Union, or you need to establish a particular and sign a particular agreement with the European Commission. This agreement foresees also some financial part, meaning that the budget, the money that is then coming to this to make the budget for the Erasmus Plus program is coming from taxes that we pay from certain fees that are established according to the number of citizens, the population of the country, and to a series of other criteria that has been established. Also, if you want to know more, you can find more information on the website of the European Commission, where it's talking about the budget for the different general directorates. So let's say that everything goes to the European Union, and then the European Commission acts through the different general directorates. The one that is interesting for us is the one related to education and culture. And then these general directorates has some agents, let's say, that work for the implementation of the actions that are foreseen under the different programs that they run and manage. The agency that is interesting for the Erasmus Plus for us is the executive agency. Maybe some of you have been already working with them, and you know that they are based in Brussels. And from the executive agency, then we go directly to the national agencies. So at the national level, we have other entities, other agencies that are our, let's say, preferred reference when we want to apply for a project under the Erasmus Plus. Each member state has a national agency, and each organization, a youth association like yours, can refer directly to its national agency in order to understand better what the problem is, or to clarify some aspects, or to get to know about deadlines and about specific priorities that there might be for the different countries. Then after the national agencies, of course, the money goes to the youth organization or to the other organizations that are allowed to apply for Erasmus Plus in order to implement their project ideas if their application is successful. Who can participate to this program? Regarding the youth field, we can say that in general, the participants have to be young people aged between 13 and 30, and we have here an exclamation mark. Why? Because then, according to the different action, there are different age limits. And I would suggest and recommend you to read carefully the user guide for each sub-actions in order to understand which are the age limits for each of them. Then, so we have young people, then we have the youth workers, and we have staff of the youth organization, and then members of organizations, volunteers, and other members, not only leading staff. In sport, we have also professional and volunteers, athletes, and coaches. And for the adult sector, can participate teachers, learners, and staff. It's the same thing as for youth, but transferred to the adult. Which are the countries that can take part to the Erasmus Plus program? Here we have a very big variety of countries, and the new division of participating countries is made in program countries, partner countries neighboring the EU, and other partner countries. The program countries are the EU 28 plus Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway, Turkey, and Fyrom Macedonia. And then the partner countries neighboring the EU are the Western Balkans, the Eastern Partnership countries, the South Mediterranean countries, and the Russian Federation. Now, for people that were working before also with the other programs, and especially with the Youth in Action program, there is one specification that we need to make, and maybe also an expectation for the next year. As you may remember, in the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, of the Youth in Action program, there was the possibility also for Eastern Partnership countries to take part to the program and to apply directly to Brussels, as well as for the Balkans, for the Balkan countries. Now, with the new program, until now, this possibility is denied completely to the previous Eastern Partnership window from Caucasus regions. And it is, let's say, partially denied to the Balkans, to the Western Balkans. Why partially? Because actually they have the possibility until now to apply directly only to one key action, which is the key action to capacity building. We will tell more in the next webinar, where we will get into some more details related to the key actions. And then we have the rest of the country. So basically, all the world can take part to the Erasmus Plus program. And the rest of the world countries are divided into different regions until the region 13, as you can see here. I can make some examples. For example, in region 5, you find Andorra, Monaco, San Marino, Vatican City State, and Switzerland, with some restrictions that you need to check and verify concerning Switzerland because of some facts that happened. And then the region number 6 is all Asia, the general Asia, like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and so on, Vietnam, Nepal, Pakistan, Myanmar, the Philippines, Indonesia. And then the 7 is the Central Asia, and here we have Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. Then we have the region 8, that is for Latin America, and the region 9, that is for Iran, Iraq, and Yemen. The region number 10 is South Africa, and the region 11 are the ACP countries, so a very big number of countries from the Pacific area. Angola, Antigua, Barbuda, Belize, East Timor, Togo, Tonga, Sierra Leone, a very big number of countries. And then we have the number 13, that are all the other industrialized countries like Japan, United States, New Zealand, Australia, Brunei, Canada, and so on. Okay, so that was the general information related to our program. Here we are again, to the Erasmus Plus program. And we foresee to organize other webinars related to this topic of Erasmus Plus to get into the details of the different actions. So we invite you to follow us on our website, therein20international.org, or on our Facebook page, because we will publish there the new dates where we will go online with the next webinar about Erasmus+. And also, I would like to remind you that we are creating a series of webinars on different other topics, and you again find all the information on our website and on Facebook. I would like to thank you for your attention, and also another thing that I'd like to tell you, if you have any more, not anymore, but if you have questions and if you'd like to know more about this part of the program that I presented you today, you can write us or comment under our video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible, creating some frequently asked questions for your acknowledgement. Thank you again, and have a nice day.